have 22% battery. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm just going to say it right away. Please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out and I would love to see you guys come back and be part of my family. So welcome. So today, in honor of spooky season, I'm doing something a little bit different. I've never done a story time really on my channel. I think I've done like little mini story times, but never anything crazy. I'm going to do my ghost story time video. I've been meaning to do this for 2 years. I have had a few ghost encounters and I was never one to believe in ghosts before until I saw some. This is a 3-part story time. 3 different ghost encounters that I've had. So the first one, I was working in this city in Maine, Portland, Maine, if you've ever been, called the Old Port, and there is a rumor that the Old Port is haunted. Now, I never really believed any of this. The salon that I was working in was really big. It was 5 floors tall. So it was in this old brick building. Everyone would kind of joke about our ghost that we had called Ned. And we would always talk about Ned, and Ned did this, and Ned turned the lights off here, and Ned turned the music off in the spa room, or whatever. So one day, my friend and I, Stacy, we were upstairs on the very top floor. It was closing. We closed at 8 p.m. and we closed the top floor, which was the hair studio. And we came down the elevator to the second floor, which is where we had all of our nails and our offices. Walk out of the elevator, and you turn left to go to the nail supply closet. So we turned left and we walked right into the nail supply closet. Now, there's a sink in front of us, and right next to the door, there's shelves. So where the sink is, there's a mirror. So we both walk in and at the same time go, hey, we locked up the 5th floor. And there's nobody in there. And we both just looked at each other and we're like, there was someone in here, right? And there's no way for them to get out. It's a closet. So I had seen someone at the sink washing their hands, and Stacy told me that she had seen someone in the mirror putting stuff away on the shelf. And we both were just like, oh my God, that was Ned. That was my very first ghost encounter. Now, the only reason I actually believe that I was seeing this is the fact that someone was with me and saw it at the same exact time. And there was no way that anybody else could have been in that room. We both just saw someone in black, me washing their hands, her putting stuff away on the shelves. To this day, that freaks me out. The second encounter that I had, so Danny and I lived in this apartment. It was our very first apartment together. Well, he actually lived there prior and then I moved in. We lived in the middle floor. So there was 3 floors on this apartment. We lived in the middle and it was an old building. One day, Danny was painting the top floor to kind of help with our rent and stuff. We kind of did trades like that with our landlord. He was painting the top floor and all of a sudden I hear him run downstairs so fast, and he slams the door behind him and he is crying, like full-blown crying. I'm like, are you okay? What happened? And he said, I don't know what just happened, but I went upstairs and the minute I walked through the door, I got freezing cold and I started crying. And then I was like, nope, and I ran downstairs. So I was like, that's really weird. Fast forward like 2 or 3 days. I don't remember exactly. We had gotten into a little bit of an argument. I don't know what it was about, to be honest. I have no idea. We'd gotten into an argument and I was like being stubborn. So I decided to sleep on the couch that night. So I was sleeping on the couch and I woke up and I looked across the room. We had a little digital clock with red letters on it, or red numbers on it. and it said 3:33. And I look past, like the clock is here, and I look kind of into the middle of the room, and I see this old lady in like black funeral clothes, like old timey black funeral clothes with like a veil over her face, just walking or like hovering across the room. And I just watched her. And the only thought that came across my head was, oh, there she is. What? Why would I think that? So I watched her walk or float or whatever across the room, and I'm like, oh, there she is. That's her. And I watched her for a few minutes, and I look back at the clock, and it's 3:35, and I look back to where she was, and she was gone. It gets better. So I worked at a salon on the same street that I lived on, and I was in work one day. I had a very full schedule, and it was very rare that I had new clients. I had this new client one day, old lady. Her name was, I think, Louise, irrelevant. So whatever her name was, let's just say it was Louise. Louise comes in, sits in my chair, and we're talking, and somehow she mentioned that she lived on this same street that I lived on and that my salon was on. She says, I've lived on this street my entire life. Never moved off of this street. And I said, oh, that's funny. I live on this street too. I live on number 4. She says, I grew up in number 4. So we were chatting about where my apartment was and how my bedroom used to be her sister's room and all of this stuff. We were just chatting. And she says to me, you know, it's really sad. When they turned that into apartments, one of my good friends lived on the 3rd floor, and she died up there in her bed a few years back. What? I saw her. I did not tell Louise that I saw her because I didn't want to freak her out, but I know that I saw her. I know that's the same woman, and I know that she came downstairs one day and opened the door. Crazy. My camera battery is about to die, so I gotta make this fast for the last one. I was living in Connecticut with Danny, and I had kind of felt like I had been seeing a cat in the corner of my eye a lot, which was weird. I didn't really think anything of it. I don't know if cats can be ghosts. Can they? Anyways, one day, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, we're fast asleep, and I'm a very vivid dreamer. So I'm having this dream that Dan and I were in a log cabin, and I just see a hand throw dishes at the wall, and they smash and land all over the floor. And I wake up, and I am, like, I fully wake up from this dream. Dan is jumped out of bed, and I'm like pinned to the bed, like I can't move. Fully pinned, like I'm stuck to the bed. And I'm like, oh my God, was that dishes? Was that a plate to Dan? And he's like, yeah, shh. So Dan like sneaks out of the room in his like military training and starts searching the house for someone, because this dish crashing sound actually happened in our house. And I don't know how there was a connection between my dream and the sound, but somehow this was all connected. So earlier in that day, I had done dishes and I put them all away except for one bowl was in the drying rack. And it was a big like serving bowl with curved edges. It was like a pretty one. Out of nowhere, Dan runs back in the room and he's like, baby, you have to come see this. So I'm finally not pinned. I get up, I go into the kitchen, and that bowl is all the way across the room. I'm talking like not it like fell onto the floor because of gravity. This was hours and hours and hours later. It was probably 6 feet across the room, just rocking back and forth in the middle of the floor. And then I yelled at it. I said, we don't want you here. And that was that. So those are my ghost stories, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you filmed any videos and recorded your ghost stories, or if you want to type your ghost story up for me. I would love to hear. I'm so infatuated by ghost stories right now. It's so crazy, and it's crazy that I've had 3 in my life. I'm kind of nervous for number 4. Like, let's not make that happen. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up before my camera dies. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked this style video. I would love to do a few more story times if you guys are interested. But anyways, I will see you guys next time. Bye.